Americans, and welcome to the Ed Show from the nation's capital tonight, where the conservative Democrats are giving me the cold shoulder. I'll wear that as a badge of honor. That means we are making progress. All right, Dick Cheney's been out there shooting his mouth off about Barack Obama not keeping us safe, but let's look at the story tonight. He may have broken the law, played politics with national security, and where are the Republicans? They don't give a damn. Hey, Nancy Pelosi was spot on months ago. She said the CIA lied to Democrats about torture during the Bush administration. Now an investigation may have proved the Speaker's case. A probe by the House Intelligence Committee has concluded the CIA may have misled Congress 5 or more times since 2001. As Subcommittee Chairwoman Jan Schakowsky told The Hill, we are in the process of reviewing several instances where the executive branch may have violated the notification requirements that are in the National Security Act. Wow, what does all that mean? Now, we already know that the CIA lied to Congress about a plan to assassinate al-Qaeda leaders. CIA Director Leon Panetta has confirmed that. The CIA lied to Congress because Dick Cheney told them to? Question mark. I'd really like to know that, because this is serious stuff. It's a major abuse of the law, a gross disregard for our law and Constitution. But the Republicans, where have they been? Ominously silent and almost defenders of Cheney at every corner. They only get outraged when they can connect Nancy Pelosi to the whole thing and ask for her resignation.
She's made this outrageous claim.
Even Gorbanifar knew that you were supporting the Contras.
Yes, he did. Izvestia knew it. The name had been in the papers in Moscow. It had been all over Danny Ortega's newscast. Radio Havana was broadcasting it. It was in every newspaper in the land.
All our enemies knew it, and you wanted to conceal it from the United States Congress.
We wanted to be able to deny a covert operation.
A national security state which believes it has the right to override the Constitution of the United States in the name of security.
I think that there was a substantial shadow government trying to run foreign affairs for the United States.
Going on that had been kept from me in various covert operations.
Did they deceive you? You didn't answer whether Poindexter and North deceived you.
We had weapons being sold by the Pentagon under the Economy Act to the CIA, and the CIA selling them to a third party or an agent, in the case of General Secord, who would then complete the transactions.
I'm just trying to find out where the authorities were coming from to do these activities. I mean, clearly there was no congressional oversight over this because it was kept totally hidden from the Congress. From whom would you have to get the green light in order to make the request or the direction, I take it, to Secord to move ahead?
Well, as I have testified, Senator, I talked to Director Casey, I talked to Mr. McFarland, I talked to Admiral Poindexter.
Going on that had been kept from me in various covert operations.
The use of U.S. government money for supporting the overthrow of the Nicaraguan government was specifically prohibited when Congress enacted the Boland Amendment in 1984.
She's undermined our intelligence officials. I think had a chilling effect on their ability to do their job, which is to keep America safe.
She said that the CIA lied to her and lied systematically over a period of years. The Speaker needs to be held accountable and be responsible for the actions and the statements that she made last week.
This is an enemy of national security that holds the gavel in the Speaker of the House. It is outrageous, and the American people need to speak to their Democrat members of Congress and ask them to come up with a new Speaker.
Going on that had been kept from me in various covert operations.
Oh, yes. You see, this is what I love to do. I love to save sound bites. We've got quite an archive. I'm a common sense guy. Nancy Pelosi has been completely consistent on this. She's never tried to walk back her comment that the CIA misled the Congress, even when Republicans launched a full-scale verbal assault against her, saying that she's got to resign. This was going on for several weeks. Remember that? She's still standing strong and standing behind it. Today, her office said her May 14th comment speaks for itself.
I am saying that they are misleading, that the CIA was misleading the Congress, and at the same time, the administration was misleading the Congress on the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, to which I said, this intelligence does not support the imminent threat, to which the press asked the same question you just did now. Are you accusing them of lying? I said, I'm just stating a fact.
Unlike the Republicans, Pelosi isn't afraid of an investigation. She wants a truth commission. She would welcome it. So would a lot of us. All right, number one, the Speaker's been consistent. Number two, the Speaker isn't afraid of an investigation. The Republicans don't want one. I think it's pretty clear who has something to hide here. And number three, Nancy Pelosi isn't using Dick Cheney and the Bush administration for any political gain. You see, she's not out there rehashing the past or making up old stories and trying to divert the country. She doesn't have time for that. See, she's too busy doing her job as Speaker of the House, working on stuff like health care reform and unemployment benefits. You know, that's a problem the Republicans just don't have. Joining me now is Illinois Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congresswoman, good to have you with us tonight.
So good to be with you, Ed.
You bet. The straight-up question here in this city tonight is, do you believe that the Bush administration and the CIA lied to the Congress?
You know, you like to save clips. I like to save the quotes. Let me just read to you what the Vice Chair of the Intelligence Committee in the House, Mr. Hoekstra, said. We cannot have a community that operates outside the law and covers up what it does and lies to Congress. Look, the Intelligence Committee on both sides of the aisle knows darn well that time after time we are not told the complete story. We're told it late. We read about it in the newspaper, or in some instances we're absolutely been told falsehoods. That's particularly true in the case of this Peru shoot-down. But we know that we have to tighten up the law, we have to hold people accountable, and we have to make sure that the notification process to Congress really works.
Do you think the CIA and the Bush administration, you wrote in your statement that the executive branch may have violated the National Security Act? Is that a yes or a no or a maybe, Congresswoman?
The Nationals, well, we may have to do some referrals to the Justice Department, but the National Security Act is very, very clear about fully informing the Congress about any significant or, Ed, an anticipated significant activity of the intelligence community. No.
And they didn't do that?
Not in every case, no.
Okay, not in every case. Okay, so they operated outside the law. So where is the Justice Department? Or have they kicked it in gear to your satisfaction?
Well, one of the things we want to do in this investigation, and you know, I'm not of the school that it doesn't pay to look back, because I don't know how we can go forward intelligently without understanding where the breakdowns were. So we're going to look at all those cases that we know of where the CIA or the Intelligence Committee didn't tell us the full story, and if there are reasons to refer to the Justice Department, then we'll see what happens.
Does this vindicate, Congresswoman, does this vindicate Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi? Was she accurate, and does this, in your findings, does this vindicate her?
Well, one of the things that we have found is that this whole gang of aid process, where just a few people in the Congress are notified, is a very, very flawed process, where there's no transcripts, there's no recording of what went on, there's no staff, there's no notes, there's no nothing, and so, you know, we don't know exactly what went on. I believe the Speaker of the House, and I certainly know from my experience on the committee that we have actually been misled, and we certainly haven't been fully and informed in a timely way.
You know, Congresswoman Schakowsky, I've always believed the Roverian tactic is to attack where you're weak. The conservatives and the Republicans have been absolute masters at this. For 2 weeks, we had a conversation in the media in this country about whether Nancy Pelosi was going to resign because she said that the CIA wasn't telling the truth to the Congress. Now, you're coming out with this report saying, well, they did mislead the Congress 5 times since 2001. So it would seem to me, and I want your take on this, do you think these people that were yakking on the talking heads about her resigning, do they have some payback audio to give to Americans and take that back?
I certainly think they do. Anybody who served with me on the committee, and I'm not even trying to start a partisan fight. I think in a bipartisan way that we, as the Intelligence Committee, who are really the eyes and ears of the American people, it's our obligation. It is true,